All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, June 27, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, a couple of things to unpack here. Spiders are basically flat right now. You see the Q's up 0.5%, but not really getting a huge gain, up 0.5% here. And the Dow is the laggard, but the big winner on the day is the Russell 2000. So IWM up 62 basis points. Talked about having a buy signal on this yesterday. It is starting to play out. Again, it's just a daily chart buy signal. Doesn't mean like it necessarily is a huge trigger, but a good, good uptick. And it is the leader today. So again, I've talked about this ad nauseum. If one thing's up, another thing's going to be down. The correlation index is at 2017 levels. So again, I talked about this morning. Nvidia down 1.3 and Apple basically flat up. So the market, from what everybody tells me, the market should be crashing right now, but that's not the case. One thing's up, something else is down. Amazon, new all-time highs, $2 trillion club, 2.5% gain. But I've been putting you guys on IGV for a long time now, been giving this away for free. 2.25% gain today. That is on breakout. Take a look at that weekly time frame. That is a beautiful bull flag. Nice breakout there, and not that far off from all-time highs here. There is a little bit of gex, I think, at 88, and there's a double top, triple top, but you've got that cup and handle look, so I think this can certainly go past that. But good price action there. Again, we had good action yesterday from the transports. They were fractionally lower today, but still inside. So again, good price action here, and with IWM leading, that's always a good sign. And seeing other tech names kind of pick up the slack when Apple takes a break and Nvidia takes a break. Saw Microsoft up a little bit today. That helps out IGV. Take a look at Palo Alto, CRM, Oracle, Adobe, CrowdStrike, all across the board here. So very good action here in cloud. And again, fund managers, I talked about this a few weeks ago, historically underexposed to cloud and historically overexposed to chips. And what have we seen with SMH? That's continuing to back off a little bit here. We also had a dog picture from a cat man. So CHWY was up about 40% at one point. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is it right here. That's the 2-year yield, not what I was going to bring up. There we go. So we can see dog picture from Catman. So CHWY up 40%. A lot of people ask me about what's the macro case for IWM here. We can make a technical case all we want. My case is that it doesn't really matter. The fundamentals are not that important. What's important is there's dispersion in the market, right? So if chips back off, something else has to bid. If volatility is pinned, right? Mathematically, that's how it has to work. And that's my case for the Russell, but perhaps this is the case here. Maybe you're going to get funds that are afraid to be short. Take a look at Rivian, right? So yesterday, I actually shorted this and closed that out this morning and closed partial gains yesterday and closed the rest out this morning for a nice gain. But if you take a bigger picture look, you can make a case you got a big fat inverse head and shoulders there and a big gap down bottom. And if this can stay firm, this can go higher. So I don't know, is that going to be the thing here? We already had squeezes in GME and AMC. Is that something that could come into play? Again, just thinking out loud, not saying that has to happen, but if you want a more fundamental reason, I can't see the economy getting any better. So I definitely give you that. But at the same time, is Biden gonna, allow the data to look bad for the next couple of months? We would have that debate tonight, so we'll be seeing about that. But if you want to know about that, I guess there's your answer. But again, just a theory. Got a nice little ascending triangle here on the IWM, speaking of, on an intraday basis, and we're hammering on that ahead of PCE tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. You can also, I just tweeted about this, and I'm just going to mess this chart up completely. Get rid of all, forget it. We'll just go to the Qs. Here we go. You can see here, essentially, if you just connect the lows, and you've got this tightening range here as well on the Qs, and you see the ascending triangle there on the Russell. There, I'll get rid of it now. There we go. All right. But yeah, tightening range here. Could we break up now into the end of the day? It's possible, obviously. I don't think we will. My guess is we'll probably see a sell on PCE, but I think that dip gets bought if it does happen. But either way, market's tightening up here. And again, I talked about this earlier this morning. Outside of this little gap higher, we've been in a 35 to 40 point range since 2 o'clock. Well, really, I mean, since 12 o'clock on Monday the 12th. So since that trend day, right here, 54.50 and then 54.90. That's it. So we are coiled, like seriously coiled like a spring. So this market's ready to move in some capacity. So be aware of that. I still think that I wouldn't be surprised to see one more shakeout here, or actually a shakeout because we haven't really seen one. But again, we're seeing that. I said this yesterday. Like Nvidia's down. Apple's up. Amazon's up. Microsoft, has a bid. Google holding up. Meta. So big tech is scratching its own back when its brothers and sisters are down, right? They're kind of picking each other up. And then what happens when the semis are down? IGV says, I got this, and goes higher. This is bull market behavior. So, I mean, we can talk about breadth again and again and again and again and again, but at the end of the day, when something is down, another thing is up, picking up the slack. Equal weight, RSP, wedge pattern, near the highs, QQQ, equal weight, ascending triangle near the highs, and bull flag on the daily too. So as long as those things remain in place, got to give the bulls the upside bias here. So again, going into not even mentioning holiday volume that we're coming into now, 21.5 million shares at 315. So very light, and we're going into a holiday week next week too. So keep all those things in mind as we get into the summertime, and I'm still expecting higher, as you guys know. So spiders holding up here, Qs at the 482 handle. And I think the Qs have less upside than everything else, especially given chips. But, IGV, if IGV continues to pump here and Amazon continues to pump, it can still go higher. So those are acting well. IWM here, again, got a micro kind of bull flag, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then a pop. We'll see if that can continue up. I think the hourly on the RTY looks pretty good too. Nice higher lows there, trend line holding, and not a bad pullback pattern. It's starting to bid up. Again, PCE will move the market for sure tomorrow though. Diamond down 23 cents again today, but nothing terrible here. It's got higher lows, and this can inch higher in due time. SMH down a little bit on the day. I'm expecting kind of lower highs here. So again, I think chips are done. That doesn't mean they can't bounce or they can't, have some rallies. Micron took a pretty good hit here, down 5.5. It did come off the lows though, so it's not terrible. But I do think the chip show is over with. I think we're going to see the other sectors start to take over for now. Chips backing off. We mentioned cloud, obviously. Dow Transport's down 70 bips. Nothing terrible inside day after a big surge yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on those, but definitely firming up a little bit here. All right, let's get back to the dog picture and talk about that. No, I'm just kidding. 2-year yield here, it's down 3 basis points. Nothing terrible, right? We actually day traded this morning. It was a little stubborn, but it did kind of retrace off the lows there. And, it's holding up right now. The 5s, we broke out of that wedge, kind of retested it there. And then the 10s, same thing, just backed off a little bit today, but still busted out of that falling wedge. So I don't really see anything that bad for yields here. Daily is kind of soft, right? Really across the board. But again, I don't really think we're going to go that much lower, even if we start to dip. Maybe 4% I could see on the 10-year, but and again, that could change. But I don't really see yields anything terrible for that in the big picture. Short term, they could remain under pressure as we still have kind of a disinflationary narrative out there right now, especially with housing data. There's that XHP here down 10 basis points, but again, even with bad data, really bad data, XHP is still hanging on. I don't like the lower highs, as you know. I don't like that you've kind of violated this wedge here, but there's nothing to say it can't firm up and then just turn into bullish consolidation in the bigger picture. But right now, lower highs and possible lower low coming. So just be careful with that here. VNQ got a nice bid. I mentioned the XLRE didn't quite get to that trend line, but it got a bid off of it today anyway. And then VNQ here, this can still stay firm. So if this just stays firm, this can go higher. I'm not saying it will. It could easily roll over too. But if that pattern can stay firm and near this, and keep hammering on this upper trend line, we can push through that. So VNQ holding up. IWM trying to push up here as we get towards the end of the day. New high of the day right there. XLF was down 16 cents, but take a look at KRE, up 28. So again, kind of looks like the Russell up move sideways up and now trying to push higher. Short-term resistance around 48.35 to 48.50. KBE, same kind of look, right? These banks make up a lot of the IWM and they're pushing up right now as we speak. So getting close to the highs today, and that's helping push the Russell. I don't think we're going to break out here before the end of the day, but still showing a lot of strength here. So KBE near-term resistance around 45.75 to 46. And then broker-dealers XBD fractionally lower here. Nothing really wrong with this either. Still just kind of in this kind of channel slash flag pattern. Oil still holding up right now and just kind of inching on that 82 level. I'd like to see it do a little more consolidation, but it's got enough to break out of here, I think. Next level would be around 84. Gasoline also inching up earlier, but coming back in. Today, I think that's a contract roll, if I'm not mistaken. On you, yeah, I think so. But either way, UGA is actually pretty good. Yeah, came back in there off the contract roll. I think that heads up into the summertime for the next couple of weeks at least. XLE here down 13 cents. Nothing really terrible with that though. Still looking for a buy signal there potentially. And then XOP, a little bit weaker, but same kind of setup. OIH is actually fractionally higher today. Again, you got an inside bar here. If that can firm up, that could set up a base for a move higher, but we need more consolidation, I think. Uranium, there's the CCJ wedge starting to inch up above that. So that would be a good sign if that can break out of that pattern. And again, the weekly is still really, there's nothing wrong with this. So no problems there. The NM getting a continued bounce, so flirting with the 200 a couple of times. This is common too, to get close to the 200, spike below it, and then bid back up. I don't have a bias on it right now, but the weekly is still very strong. And the same thing with the NJ, although I still think that could come down and test 23. Nat gas continuing down. I don't like it until 260. And even then, I kind of like it for a scalp, and that's it. Dollar inside day. Again, bonds were bid, not a surprise here, but inside day, nothing really wrong, and that looks like it's threatening. So good day for the dollar, or well, good last 2 days for the dollar. It was down, but still a good session, I suppose. Again, what did I tell you guys yesterday? This could easily come right back up out of this bear flag. Why? Because the weekly is more dominant and the weekly is still bullish. So yeah, it could still go down to 22.50, maybe 22. I'm not saying it can't happen, but you always got to defer to those larger time frames. So pretty good fake out there for gold right now. I mentioned this yesterday as well. GDX was flat, whereas gold was down. Then we look at silver, which was actually down yesterday, even though it looks like it was up because of the contract. But you had the SIL, which was green. So again, miners leading the metal, good sign. Silver up a couple pennies today, nothing great or horrible. That's still in a consolidation pattern. If we look at the weekly, again, still, I think we're getting there. This weekly 20 MA is starting to catch up. And if that does that, it can resume higher. So nothing wrong in the metals market here, just doing some backing off. Platinum backing off as well, and palladium fractionally higher here. Copper getting down there. So this is starting to get really attractive here around 430 to 425, as I've already mentioned, and maybe even a little bit below that. But right in this area, this is where I do like copper. So good pullback there. I'm rooting for that to continue down. And then Bitcoin here, still consolidating. We look at an hourly, you're going to see we kind of just grinded down on that trend line like I talked about yesterday. And then we got a bid. You do have an hourly inside bar right now. If it can stay inside of that and stay firm, we can push through. You got to get through 62.5. And then you got like 62.3, 63 to 63.5 after that. But yeah, Bitcoin's still bouncing. We'll see if it can get a zigzag type move up. So IWM bidding up here as we get closer to 330. I don't think the market's going to break out right now or do anything major into the close. It certainly could. I'm not saying it can't, but we have PCE tomorrow, and you're going to see here, there's just a lot of GEX at 54.70. So that's been a magnet really for like 5 days now. Actually, you can make a case for like 8 days now. We will eventually break away from that. My guess it's after PCE, but yeah, market's acting okay here. We're still just flagging here, no problems with the market. We're in a tight range. The only thing that would make me a little nervous as a bull in the immediate short term is I would really like to see a flash sell, at least to get some people out of the market, and on the other side of the trade. But it doesn't have to happen. Speaking of that, just before we wrap up here, AAII bears up ticked again. Bulls stayed the same. So take that for what it's worth. It's just AAII, but just one other thing to consider there. Anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.